This is a mountain pass. We're coming out of the Chosin Reservoir area, and this went on for all day and all night to get all the people out of there. Going from sub-zero weather to the coast and be safe and away from the Chinese. One Marine lieutenant said, "You were kicking the ass when we went in, or you were kicking the ass when we came out." It was either that or stay there and die, because they had us outnumbered by armies versus divisions. That's not equal.
The Battle of Chosin Reservoir resulted in 17 Medals of Honor, 70 Navy Crosses, and the most distinguished service crosses of any single battle in U.S. military history.
I was born in Klamath Falls, June 3rd, 1929. My mother died when I was 11, and my father was a logger. I went to school high school in Springfield, graduated from there in 1947, and in 1947 I joined the Marine Reserve. And from that time on, for 2 years, I went to the summer camps at Camp Pendleton, and the war broke out in 1950.
On Sunday, June 25th, Communist forces attacked the Republic of Korea. This attack has made it clear beyond all doubt that the international communist movement is willing to use armed invasion to conquer independent nations. An act of aggression such as this, it creates a very real danger to the security of all free nations. The communist invasion was launched in great force, with planes, tanks, and artillery.
They needed bodies, so we never went to boot camp. We left home, went to Camp Pendleton first and then San Diego. And a couple of weeks later, boarded ships, went to Japan and made the landing at Incheon, and then on up to the Chosin Reservoir.
U.S. and British forces advanced deep into North Korea, attempting to push Chinese forces out, but discovered they had vastly underestimated the number of Chinese troops they would encounter. The Marines at Chosin faced some of the most difficult fighting conditions imaginable, with temperatures reaching as low as minus 30 degrees. Weapons and vehicles froze. Everyone suffered frostbite, and many froze to death.
That was one of the things that really helped us, was because the Chinese froze to death. They only had padded uniforms and tennis shoes on. And even tennis shoes on 40 below zero, they were freezing bad, but they still kept sending them on waves and waves and waves of people coming at us. We had one division and they had about 3 armies. We had from 15 to 18,000 people, and there are several divisions in each army, so we were outnumbered at least 10 to 1. We were in the artillery, 105 millimeter howitzers, and I was assigned to the Fire Direction Center, where everything is the head of the whole battalion, and all the firing that goes on goes through the Fire Direction Center. Well, the first time we were shelled from the Chinese artillery, Most of us were smart enough to keep our heads down. So we knew right where they were, and so with all 18 guns firing, I don't know how many rounds, we blew up all of our artillery and killed a lot of people. And then we were able to take out that gun battery of Chinese in a short order. It didn't last long. That was pretty much in the beginning with the Chinese. Being in the artillery and being in the Fire Direction Center, which is a completely center of operations, so we were generally pretty well protected. And in one situation, when we were coming out, we got strung out in a long convoy, and a battalion of Chinese attacked, and there were, I don't know how many hundred of them, but we didn't have all our guns there. I think we had 8 or 9 howitzers right in that spot, and they turned the howitzers all sideways, wheel to wheel practically, shooting at 100 yards with artillery rapid fire with howitzers, which is quite a feat, killing thousands. And you have 7 charges in a shell case, and we should have been using just 1 charge, but we were firing so fast, we left all the charges in there, and so we had guys were standing against the artillery and getting knocked down with just the recoil. But then we stand up and get it going again, and so it was kind of a wild time there one morning. We had layers and layers of clothes on, and when we slept, we had down bags with wool liners, and we got in the bags with all clothes, shoes and everything. You get in and take your shoes off on the inside of the sleeping bags and change your socks so your feet didn't froze from the sweat. You had to change your socks pretty often or your feet freeze. And I had black toenails when I got out of there from frozen toes. But I was very, very fortunate. There was a lot of them that had much worse than that, where they couldn't change their shoes and they lost heels and toes and feet and hands. My hands were swollen, not like boxing gloves, but they were really swollen from the cold. We were beating the Chinese up badly going in, and then they came in with a lot more people, and we were still winning, no matter which way we were going. And we lost a lot of people too, but I don't know what the ratio was as far as being as killed in action, but we were way, way, way ahead of the game. One lieutenant said, "You were kicking their ass when we went in, or were kicking their ass when we came out." It was either that or stay there and die. So, because they had us outnumbered by armies versus divisions, and that's not equal.
The sheer numbers of Chinese Red Army forced the Marines to withdraw to the south, making it a geographic win for the Chinese, but they paid a heavy price. Forces on both sides underestimated the other, and those 15 days of fighting became known as one of the fiercest battles in the history of the Marine Corps. Despite being unable to expel the Chinese from North Korea, the single Marine Division destroyed 7 enemy divisions and was considered a tactical win for the Marines. The poorly equipped and poorly fed Red Army suffered casualties ranging from 40,000 to 80,000 due to combat and cold, compared to the Marines suffering 4,300 combat casualties and 7,300 to the cold.
In this epic battle, a total of 17 Medals of Honor, 70 Navy Crosses, plus many Distinguished Service Crosses were awarded for the campaign, the most of a single battle in U.S. military history. Not everybody lives to be 92. I didn't think about it I just put it out of my mind for a long time. I am not sorry I had the experience, because it really, makes you think how precious life is.